You're listening to the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex.
My name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man? How things?
Shivering over here, man. It is cold time of the year. I'm sure
Right.
you guys got some cold
I,
weather yourself.
I guess I got to say Happy New Year first of all, because
Yeah,
uh,
Happy New Year, guys. Haven't
right.
been here in a couple weeks and had a good Christmas, good New Year, and looking forward to new things.
Right. I agree. It's been hey, to get back to what you were saying about the weather in Chile. It's been a little chilly down here for sure. More than I would like it to be. As you see, I'm in a t-shirt, so it's not too bad. But it is. It's not like up north for sure. So I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it is. But it's still a little chilly in the morning.
Yeah, that was a tornado in Florida. I saw. I don't know if that was near you, but I don't know if you heard about it.
No, that missed that. That missed me, so I didn't have to deal with that as much. There was some wind for sure, a lot of wind, but no damage in the neighborhood or anything like that. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, just trying to stay warm and get through this cold winter and just counting down pretty much. And I'm getting ready for, my season to start up here when the salt washes away and, they refill the potholes and they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I picked up my multistrada today, so I'm excited to get out and start riding again on the street. So I noticed like 'cause this is only my first year down in Florida, so I still remember what it was like up there, and I was up there a few weeks ago. So it's chilly and it's tougher to ride in those conditions up there, but you can do it.
Yeah, you can do it, but, who really, you'd be riding alone pretty much.
Uh,
Yeah, I
well,
think you
that's kind of my
would be no
style.
place.
That's kind of my style. I tend to ride when I ride, I pretty much ride alone on the streets, and 'cause I'm usually going somewhere, and hopefully that'll change down in Florida. Try to meet up with some people and try to go for rides. But it's sometimes you gotta go by yourself, man. Because if you're itching for that to ride, and no one wants to break their bike out because it's a little chilly up north. It's kind of like you gotta do what you gotta do.
I must say, I do ride a lot alone.
Uh
I
huh.
travel a lot to and from work, and
Right.
if I just want to go to a store or just a quick ride,
Right.
and I must say is when you do add a couple other riders, like it's like going on a mission, pretty much. It's like you always find something, uh, get in a little trouble.
Right.
Not too much, but you always find some way to get a little feisty out there.
For sure. I used to ride with some folks. We talked about Jesse and Lloyd. I used to ride with them on Sundays and go out for rides. But they didn't ride once it got cold, so it's tougher. But yeah, no, it's always nice to go out with friends or people. And for me, I like to go for long rides. Right, we're going from like 8 in the morning until 6, 7 o'clock at night type of thing, getting 300 miles in, whatever the case may be, on some B roads or, and stuff like that. So, that's my kind of riding I like to do. And, I don't want, we try to stay away from, cities with a lot of traffic lights and so forth.
Oh, yeah, as I try to hit the country roads, back roads, especially on low traffic hours. So try to find the right time of the day where it's like where it's no rush hour traffic or where cars won't go at a certain time of a traffic time. So I have my fun doing that.
Right. So, yeah, man. Well, you got, like I keep saying, you got to come on down because, there's bikes down here that you can ride. And, if you're looking to get on the bike before, when you bring your bike out, April?
I shoot for right before April. So I want to say like bring it out into March, but weather's not always forgiving. So I try the mandatory, like I have to bring it out in April because obviously, now that I'm into the race club racing,
Right.
that starts end of April. So I can't have no type of training, you know, before I just jump on a track. So I try to like suck it up and whatever I got to do to get out there, and hopefully it's still not snowing at the time.
Right. Right. Hopefully, hopefully
I
it's
mean, you
not.
never know. I mean, we've gotten snow all the way up until May a couple years ago, but
Right.
I mean, it's unpredictable. Hopefully the spring starts early.
Yeah,
Check
and
that out.
fingers crossed, man, because we on two wheels like to get out and and do our thing. So hopefully this year, as they say, the groundhog will come out and make everything right.
One thing I do like about New England is like when all the bikes are put away. Um, like you don't hear motorcycles for a couple months. So once it starts to get nicer and you start to hear like the Harleys and the sport bikes, it's just a good feeling. So I can't wait for that.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like that down here too. Not a lot of people are riding their bikes down here right now, but definitely people are out. But not like when the weather is better. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Let's get into what's going on in World Superbike because I hear there are rule changes that are coming down. What have you heard about that, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, there's a World Superbike is changing a couple of things around. First of all, like the BMW, looking forward to a good year. Um, and they got some rule changes for as far as grid setup, fuel consumption, and a couple other things here. Let me see if I can read off of that there. Um, I lost it here. Sorry about that.
So I think the rule changes, there's going to be some people probably a little bit unhappy about the rule changes. And I don't know if they gave any details as to what brought about the changes. I don't know if they're trying to level the playing field a little bit for some of these other manufacturers, you know what I mean?
That I'm not 100% sure of. Like I feel like World Superbike is really interesting because I think they make things a lot more interesting. Um, so for as far as like the grid updates, I can read it off. It says, in order to highlight outstanding performance, the SBK commissions decided that regarding the grid positions for race two, the first 9 grid positions will be based on the fastest time recorded by the riders during race one for World Super Sport, World Super Sport 300, and the World WCR classes.
Okay.
Um,
Did they say? I don't
so that's
remember.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't remember how it was before. I think I don't. It seems like the grid position for race two. I think that was based on the sprint race, right? Because the sprint race
Yeah,
was after race one. So now they're just going to base it off of race one instead of the sprint race.
yeah. 'Cause, some people in the back might have a faster time than um, some of the guys in the front and finish further back. So I guess that changes things up a little bit. Um, Not to bring up Moto America, but they would wherever you finish race one will be
Mm-hmm.
your setup for race two.
Okay.
You'll be in the same grid position. So um, yeah, that's pretty cool. The fastest times, the first 9 riders though, the first 9 grid positions.
Oh, got you. Only okay, that makes sense because if you're in the back, I mean, you can just create space and pull out a couple of fast lap times, right? If you wanted
Yeah.
to, since if you weren't going to score points or anything like that. So it's good that there is a cutoff of the first top riders, so no one is sitting here, flopping, as they say.
Yeah, there's a couple chassis component updates. That's pretty much very detailed. So, I mean, they got some triple clamp steering stem and rear suspensions that they talk about, and fuel flow control. for testing and for racing. So they're changing a lot, which hopefully brings the competition level a lot more even. You know, we've seen a lot of Alvaro Bautista just take everything. Um,
Well,
so
I mean, in all fairness, Jonathan Ray before Top Rock won 6 in a row, and they weren't doing that. You know, what I'm saying nothing was
that
happening
is
when Kawasaki
facts.
was winning 6 in a row. So I'm just saying.
They see something in Ducati though after what they're doing in MotoGP and all across the board. So I don't know. They must know something
Well,
there. And they
I think Ducati has the secret sauce
not
at the
fair.
moment, and that's
Yeah.
all it is. And it's for folks that love Ducati, it's awesome. But I'll say I said it before, and I'll say it again. There are many years when Ducati was not winning. So it's not. You can't look at 2 championships in Ducati's World Superbike and MotoGP and sit here and say all of a sudden like we need to do all this stuff to stop them. If the secret sauce is that good, then maybe they might run for 10 years. Who knows? Maybe it's LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's
We
fair.
all win 11 championships. But I think it's a you know, like I said, with Honda and Yamaha and Kawasaki, as far as in World Superbike Kawasaki, uh, Ducati wasn't sitting here saying, "Let's change the rules, let's change the rules, let's get concessions," or any of that stuff.
Now, I'm just like really getting into this, the past couple years. So I don't know if they do rule changes constantly, yearly or bi-yearly, stuff like that. And I don't know if they're out for Ducati trying to like make sure they don't run away with all the championships. Give them some time. Like Honda did it. So like I think it's just too soon. If they don't make rule changes a lot, it's too soon. I think to just make them right away.
Well, yeah, and not to pick on Scott Redden because I'm a big fan of his, but he did talk about weight limitations and stuff like that, minimum weight limitations because of Alvarez's weight and stuff like that, and when Danny Pedrosa was suffering because he couldn't get heat in that rear tire on the Honda in cold attempts, no one was sitting here saying anything. So. You know, I don't know for sure if it's just general complaint that gets rule changes happen, or maybe they see data that because at the end of the day it's entertainment, right? And they want it to be entertaining. So I don't know if they're looking at data to sit here and say we have to make changes to it's more beneficial when you have 8 different riders from 8 different manufacturers or 6 different manufacturers or whatever the case may be. Have the chance to win a race versus if it's just Ducati. Again, nobody said anything when Marquez and I guess it was Honda and Yamaha,
That's what I
so
mean.
it did go kind of back and forth as far as the MotoGP. But again, in World Superbike, it was Kawasaki for 6 years, and I'm still new as well, but and I think rule changes happen for different reasons, track reasons, safety reasons, and stuff like that. But I don't know if they do specifically for manufacturers. I will say when MotoGP banned the wings initially, when Ducati first started putting wings on bikes and stuff like that, definitely that was something there, right? So and they did come back around because not everybody got them, but they definitely did. I think when they had the 2 wings or whatever, they're like, no, 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 only one.
So they were trying everything. Now they're like a airplane now, legit
So
wings everywhere.
right. So I don't know if that's the case. I hope that's not the case. And you brought up BMW earlier because they just unveiled their livery for both their factory. I think they're both factory teams or factory satellite teams with Redden, Gerlov, Top Rock, and I forget the last person now. Slips slips my tongue. And the BMW looks good, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think we saw flashes of it last year with Gerloff, with Redden a little bit, and And so and from what I can tell from the delivery date that it seems like they're all getting along. It seems like they're all on board to work with each other and try to bring BMW to the forefront. And I know
And I mean,
BMW.
Top Rock brought that team to life. Well, I mean, they're already a pretty
Yeah, yeah,
good
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
team
mean,
and definitely a good bike.
it's too soon to say if he brought him to life, but definitely having a guy that won a title and rode the way he rode last year,
Well,
it's it does help.
they still have to perform at the end of the day, but like, if you're on a team and then, Mark Marquez comes to the team, you're like, all right, now I got to step my game up, like, so I think Top Rock would probably just brought a little extra oomph to the whole team to step up, and they all want to get all positive data, and now they're all really working together. I think they're all very versatile, and they have obviously different styles of riding, but I think they're hopefully going to have a good year, and
Yeah, I mean,
hopefully
if you're a
spice up
BMW,
Ducati a little bit.
if you're a BMW
Because
fan, for sure.
I mean, I haven't really been a BMW fan, but it's good to see, another manufacturer that we don't see often. And like we was talking about the rule changes. Now, I think they mentioned earlier this year how Alvaro Bautista has to add weight to his bike or something like that to
Yeah, I believe so. I think
compensate.
he does have to add some weight to his bike.
So that's another thing. So we'll see. I mean, BMW is a pretty heavy bike too, so I don't think they have to really worry about that too much.
Well, that
They're shedding weight.
yeah, those guys are not as
Yeah.
light as Alvaro. So no, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see with BMW. I mean, the street bike is a nice bike. I haven't ridden from what I hear because I haven't ridden one. It's a nice
Mm.
bike, and it seems from what I've heard, the newer bike, handles like a 600, and so BMW's money is long, and they want to be at the forefront, like in on four wheels. They want to be up there, and kudos for them for because they really changed the game because they really brought technology in with the thousand, right? I mean, they're the first ones to bring all that in, and it's interesting how Ducati's been able to bring it to a different level. So they got skin in this game, and they're trying to come out with something, but I don't, we'll see. I don't know if I suspect they'll probably finish top four, top three. If I had to guess right now, because it's until Top Rock get out there and we see if he can run up front like he was doing on the Yamaha. It's really hard to say because Scott Redden was running out there on the duck, and then on the BMW he struggled here and there. So who knows what will happen until he gets out there.
I mean, I say that about a MotoGP rider too, going to a new team, but we'll talk about it another time.
We're gonna talk about that. Who you talking about? You got somebody you want to say? You talking about Mark Marquez?
Maybe,
You know,
maybe. We gotta see what he do first. See first race. Everybody's already predicting championship and
yeah,
all
but
this stuff. Like, I love him though. I love him,
in
but I just can't do it yet after who's out there already.
all fairness to Top Rock, him and Marquez are on different levels, and I think if it was any
Yeah,
other rider, I'll be 100% with you. But I think
it's a
he's one of the
championship.
I think he's one of the few riders that can do that, though. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the few riders that will get up there. But we'll see. You're absolutely right. We won't know until it gets out there, until he gets out there and everybody else get out there. Is it March
The
yet?
levels, the levels are different too. So you know,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying for
I mean,
sure.
he's not a difference maker like Mark Marquez because he's on the GP level, but the World Superbike level, Top Rack is a very big deal.
All right. So you're saying he's gonna finish top two for the end of the season is what you're thinking
I
based on
mean,
what
I'm
you're
hoping
saying.
so. I
He
mean,
finished top two and won the year before, so we're assuming
I mean, Scott Redden's on a new machine, so it's gonna be tough, man. a lot of people are out there on new manufacturers. We're gonna see. It's gonna be a great year. So, like I said, I can't wait to see what we see out of the riders.
We're
World Superbike starts in is it March or April,
I
and
think
then they're off for a whole month.
the
I
schedule
think
is
it's March. I think
uh,
they start in March, and then they're off for a full month.
yeah. I think it's March. Hang on one second. Or continue on with what you were saying.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see. Like I said, I like the American rider Gerloff, his personality and his riding style. He always seems to want to improve every race. Obviously you can't get it right all the time, and um, I mean he's dying for a podium.
Right.
Um, and yeah,
They,
there's just
right.
and like I said, Jonathan Ray is going to be on a new manufacturer as well.
Yeah. So World Superbike starts in February. So I think it's the
Oh,
last
excuse me.
weekend. So we don't have long to wait for that, and then MotoGP is in March.
Yeah,
So
that's what it.
exciting times. So I'm definitely. I think a lot of people are going to be looking forward to that. And there are other riders that could have a say in all that. I mean, Pachucci could have a say in it.
Oh yeah.
Who's on the who's the other factory rider this year for Ducati?
Uh, um,
Not Bassani because he
for
went to Kawasaki. Um, yeah,
the
who's the other rider with
yeah,
Bulaga.
Alvaro Bautista Ducat,
Bulaga, right? Yeah, yeah. So he moved up from Supersport. So
Nicola Bulaga.
yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. So it sounds like
Well,
we're naming all, huh?
he's with Aruba with
Yeah,
Alvaro
yeah,
Bautista.
he's across from Alvaro. So it'll be interesting to
Oh,
see. It'll be interesting to see what Jonathan Ray does on that Yamaha as well. Honda may have a say this year in it because they were. I mean, I think if they get it together, they could finish top six this year. So and you look at Andrea Noni, he has something to prove, and that boy's bad. So that boy's
Sam
bad.
Lowe's on a Ducati now.
Yeah, we'll see what
I mean,
happens with him because I don't it's interesting because he probably because he's been riding the triple for the last few years and
long
I
time, yeah.
think him adapting to the duck might be easier than if he was on an inline four.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens. I don't know if he's probably finished top 10. You know what I'm saying? I think it's fair to say he could be in the top 10 with Ducati, but I don't see him being in front of Daniel Pachucci. I don't see him being in front of Andre Noni. I don't, I, you know, and there's a whole bunch of other riders that have been on Ducati for second year. Rinaldi has something to prove, even though he's on a satellite team this year. He's still on the V4, so he knows that bike as well. So I like you're saying, World Superbike is going to be so much fun to watch this year
Oh, it
because
is.
you can't count. There's like 12 people you can't count out.
And I'm just looking at the names on here. I mean, I'm sure every season you can say every rider you can't really count out, but I'm just
For
looking at a
sure.
lot of riders that's been on this grid for a while and just got experience. And some are on different manufacturers, some have been in MotoGP, been on the World Superbike, but there's a lot of, for me, familiar names and riders that have a lot of skill. Uh, some with championships, and yeah, always going into the first race, it determines everything. So you try to be mistake free, watch out for little incidents, but you always got to push. So it's gonna be interesting.
Right. Definitely. And before we move on, we can't forget to mention that there's 6 rounds. We have FIM's Women's Championship series kicking off this year. It's going to be
Pretty
six.
cool.
It's man, listen. That
I
is
mean,
that. Go ahead.
no, I'm just going off what you're saying. I'm just saying that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like that we get to see like women in a sport where it's well, I mean we're always under a helmet, so you can't really tell, but to watch where it's just all women, that'll be pretty cool, and it goes for them.
Right. Yeah, because I think that as far as other teams out there or teams out there, right? I don't know how many teams would have say let's sign a woman for their ride this year. And it's not to say they're not talented women out there that can ride, because we do see it in Kayla, the 16-year-old here, and Molly Dobbs, who's a Motor America rider, who's moving over to the Women's Cup as well, the Women's Series as well. So I think you know the time that we're in, having a whole different league for them, or a team for them, makes sense. But they can ride just as well as these other riders. When you look at the women that are at the level of Moto 3, and Anna Carrasca, or Molly Dobbs, or I forget Maria's last name, that in Moto E, and I believe she's also in the European League as well. These riders they're one of the best riders in the world. You know what I mean, and I'm looking forward to that as well. Just like I watch Moto E in MotoGP series as well. So it's going to be fun to see, and hopefully it grows to more rounds. I think for now it's going to be at Imola, and Mazzano, I believe. It's going to be in the UK, in Donington Park, Portuguese round, Hungary round, Italian round as well, and a Spanish round. So,
I think this is
motorcycle
big,
racing can't go wrong.
right? But no, I think this is really big. Like this is like the first year for this as well. I mean, you see like a lot of mini moto to get kids in. I mean, girls do ride, like I said, with like the baggers and all the classes, but
Right. I believe
they
it's the
have like
the
a
hooligan. I think it's the hooligan class.
yeah,
That yeah, yeah.
they have six rounds, and like it's legit a season. I mean, it says they have basically a Friday race, a Saturday race, and a Sunday race. So the Super Bowl's on Friday. They have a race on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh wow, that's
So six rounds of this.
yeah.
And I think it says that the Yamaha R7 is the only model that they can run, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And
Yeah,
they must be 18 or older. So I think that's going to be more racing, the better. So I'm going to be looking forward to keep my eyes on that as well.
right. Yeah, I think the Yamaha is the only bike, so they'll all be on the same machine, and when that happens, then it's a it's the
Talent.
rider, right? It's the
I
rider at
mean,
that point. You know what I'm
coaching
saying?
and talent.
Yeah, it's the rider. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited just as much as I'm excited for women's
R7 is not
basketball.
slow either. So
Huh?
R7 is not slow either. So
No, no.
they,
And
they'll
who
be
knows where it goes from here, because they could have a superbike series as well, right? So now
yeah,
you got middleweight and then you have heavyweight. So
they might run a lower class too. So
right, exactly. So no, I'm very excited for the chance that they get into ride and race at the world level.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Does it say what? Oh, it does say. You did mention it. So June 14th is the first round, right? So
February.
for
For
the
the Women's Cup.
yeah, for the women's cup.
Yes,
I
June
think it's
14th. Yep, June
June
14th.
14th.
Is the first round for that. And
And so
speaking of the world stage, what do you think about? I know you had talked about some comments of the Ducati head guy. He's firing back a little bit at the other manufacturers.
um, I mean, I don't know if he's firing back, but he's just speaking his mind, as far as I can see. Talking about the concessions that came out a few months back. Basically, Ducati's getting the baseline, and all the other manufacturers getting something. So from his perspective, he doesn't believe that Aprilia or KTM to receive any concessions or as much as they have received due
Hmm.
to the fact that they have been on a podium. They haven't as struggled as much as Yamaha and Honda.
Okay.
Um, and basically saying that if Ducati goes wrong, then they have a big problem basically. So they have to pretty much in their eyes be perfect and be the leaders from the get. And while Honda already has 22 private tests set up, you know, you know, they, and just knowing that KTM in a pro year is done pretty well, and
Right.
they get some some of that taste too. So I
You
would
know,
be fed up too, as if I was a team owner. It's just like that's what I meant earlier when we were talking about World Superbike. It's like it's something that they have out for Ducati where they're making all these changes. Like give them a chance, let them like dominate for a bit.
right.
I
You
mean they
know,
dominate the season, but like you said, Honda and Yamaha years past have dominated for a while. So
hey, listen, Davizioso, Andre Noni, um, uh, Nikki Hayden, Rossi.
yep.
Riders have suffered on that duck. Casey Stoner was the only one, for well over a decade or so that could ride that bike, and he went to Honda the year after. So, uh, again, you know, Honda has done a lot for the sport. Yamaha has done a lot for the sport, and I don't know if that's favoritism or not, or if this is a game that they play and it's just politics. Like, like if you look at Formula One, you look at the Netflix series, how these principals and team managers and how they talk and go at one another and stuff like that. So maybe it's just psychological warfare, and it's nothing at all.
See, it's like I said, this season for MotoGP is going to be really interesting as well. I don't think any changes have made to like the grids or anything like that, or with the sprints. But it's gonna be a good year where it's gonna. I know halfway through last season they changed up the practice setup, so
Right.
this will be a full year where they can kind of like just have that flow down, um, where practice is basically session two for them. Um, but yeah, this I think they can't take any of the practices for granted now with Ducati. They just gotta. They don't have as many tests or anything. They can't really. I mean, I think they're a better bike. They have so many great riders.
Yeah. I
What, eight
mean,
bikes?
yeah. I think with 8 bikes, they just need 11 practice rounds,
Exactly.
just half, right? No, I agree. Hopefully, it is the game, it is the rules, and the NBA, other NFL, they do things to kind of level the playing field a little bit. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. Yeah, in this instance, I agree with you. They should have just left it alone, and just let's see what happens. Let them, Honda's money's long. I mean, Yamaha, man, they sell a lot of keyboards. So what I mean. They got some dough. So Ducati had to spend money to get what they've gotten, and Honda's gonna have to spend that money.
Now, the concessions is who like is it just put out by Dorma, or is it's like it? I'm just reading a quote on here. It says that Ducati, the manager, accepted the concessions because they felt it was important for Yamaha and Honda to get help. But I don't know how does it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I said, it's you know maybe they promised them something in the back end. Who knows? For the future, who knows? Because like I said, it's I don't know if Ducati had anything to worry about, but nonetheless, I think they had to, not necessarily had to, but they're going along with it because it's still going to take Honda a couple of years to get that bike back. It's still going to. I don't think this season is going to. I don't think they're going to win a championship at the end of this season. I think next year they probably will be a top. We'll see how this year go. We'll see what Luca Marini can do and Zarco can do,
I'm
because
saying,
I think those two guys are the guys that's gonna build that bike. I don't. Joanne Mir, he's coming from Suzuki and he's bringing his experience from Suzuki. So I mean, and that Suzuki's return. So that's what he's bringing. And Taka Nakagami's been with Honda forever, so he doesn't know another bike. So really, I think they're going to lean on Luca and Zarco a lot too, especially since they've had 2.5, 3 years for Zarco, I believe, and I think 3 years for Luca too, or maybe two. And so they have that to come, and maybe they're hoping that they do what Jack Miller did for KTM, to put KTM in the top five, bike, right? So that's what they're hoping, but it's also as the Ducati guys have said, it's sharing that data, it's working together, it's listening to the riders. So it's not just they still have to do that part. And if Honda or Yamaha, well, Yamaha only has two bikes on the grid, but if Honda can't do that, it's going to take them even longer.
I mean, like, I want to see like their data log sheet, what it looks like, you know, um,
Uh,
because like weather comes into play,
mhm.
uh, what type of rider. I just want to see what their data log sheet is for like a specific track. I don't know, just over like the course of like the past 10 years. I don't know.
Right,
It'd
exactly.
be pretty interesting.
It would be.
I mean, tires change every year too, so um,
And I think is it MotoGP that's changing tire manufacturers this year, or World Superbike? I I, I
hmm,
I think one of them are changing tire manufacturers this year, as well. So it'll be very interesting if they're if yeah, I don't know off the top of my head if it's MotoGP, but it'd be
yeah, we
very
have
interesting
to.
if that happens.
We have to mention that in another episode and do some research on that. That's pretty interesting. I know MotoGP gets special tires because of the wear and tear in the corners of tracks, and they get the good ones. But not sure if they're changing manufacturers. But yeah, definitely tire data is. I don't know. I'm curious. Also, what do you think the most important data spec is if you're a rider?
I couldn't even
Like
tell you.
gearing, tires. I mean, they all come into play, but I don't. I'm just seeing your opinion. What do you think you're most important?
I would say tires first, and then suspension. And at that level, right? I mean, when you're talking about a street track, a track day bike, stock bike, you're gonna put some tires on first, and then you're gonna start playing with your suspension. You might start playing with brakes. Other than that, as far as
Yeah, but that's when.
as far as technology, well, I can't speak on that because none of my bikes got tech. I mean, my KTM
Yeah.
RC that has a little bit of tech in it, but
Well, that's why I would need that Ducati data. But like, I don't need to test all these tires out. Just tell me what you got, and then narrow my margins down. But yeah, tires for sure. Um, and then obviously suspension. That's what we all do as the main setup anyway. But it's just getting up to speed to where the other guys are. So you don't have to figure out a setup. You
right.
can just get out there and just and go. So
Right. So it is Moto 2 and Moto 3 are going from Dunlop to Pirelli, for 2024. So that's what it
no
is.
Ian like that, huh?
Huh?
Pirelli guy.
Yeah, I'm starting to become a Pirelli guy too. I run
Yeah.
Pirelli's on RC,
Pirelli.
but not on the not on my R6 yet. It's I'm
Yeah, I
just
switched to Pirellis because I was running Bridgestones as if anyone didn't know, like 2 years ago, and no one had them. So I would literally have to order them
right.
online, and just it was too much to deal with, and the price. So
Gotcha.
everybody's running Dunlops or Pirellis, so I switched to Pirellis. So they've been treating me well.
Nice. Speaking of local stuff, schedules are out for track days, and racing clubs got their schedules out for 2024. So I've seen some people already posting, their track day and their race schedule for the year. I saw one guy had like, I mean, I don't know, had like 30 dates. Uh,
How does he rent the track that much? Oh,
man, listen, I wish I had that many dates. I would love it. Love to be at the track that much. So definitely get your schedules together because it's right around the corner. February for me probably. I probably will be racing. I'm doing a track day definitely in February, but I might race as well. We shall see. So
that's a couple weeks. Whatever you gonna say next month?
no, no, no. Listen, like 2.5, like 3 weeks, 3 weekends from now, because it's the first weekend in February. So,
So it's back for you. Like I
no,
can't say the same. I mean I could choose to go down there if I can get my funds right, but we'll see. But I know I still have a couple months. Like 2 or 3 weeks. That's just like when you end a race weekend and you got another round in a couple weeks. Like
yeah, no, yeah, I think so.
you
I
got to
mean,
start packing.
yeah, I'm hoping, and we'll see, because I'm trying to get out as it's going to be a tricky year for me, but you know, I'm planning on the first weekend right now, and then I'm looking at some stuff in March. So definitely. Get your schedule worked out, get your maintenance done on your bike, or if you haven't already, maintenance done on your trailer. If you haven't already, if you're bumped up, get your new numbers and get them on the bike. So that way, when it's like 3 weeks, 2 weeks left, you just gotta just wait it out, and that's it.
It's easier said than done, but that's the plan. That's the plan for me for
That,
sure.
that's the plan, man. It's it is what it is, because you have to do it, and if it's last, I mean, I guess you can scramble around last minute to get stuff done, but it's a little hectic, and
Yep.
if you got to wait for
Throw 'em up.
stuff, and you don't want to, you don't need to go kick rocks because you have to wait for a part to come in, or somebody's just really booked up, and you have to wait a little bit longer, and you don't want to be picking up your bike the day before race
Yeah,
weekend.
who wants to drive to New York for one bolt?
Exactly. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So
Yeah,
definitely do that.
that was a mess.
Oh man.
I mean, I'll never forget that time last year. You were so ready because we were talking about it. You were so ready, and then something happened where something didn't fit, and then you needed that bolt, and then you find yourself scrambling. But
Yep.
so yeah,
Pretty much, and it's like back and forth to the dealership. It is what it is. I mean, there's worse things to complain about, but it's nice to be as prepared as you can be. As we say that, sponsorships. If you haven't locked them in yet, lock them in, because as far as reach out, because every little bit helps. And if you're racing or riding and you're taking footage and you're posting on social media already, then just reach out to some sponsors, possible sponsors, and see what you can get. Let them know what you're doing, show them what you're doing, and see what happens.
the sport is growing in my eyes. But just get all your stuff together and all your tools, and just like you're going away on vacation, just be ready to just go when it's that first time, and you just be in routine.
Right. And the last thing is that fitness, right, man? How's that coming along?
I'm doing indoor fitness right now. I like to do fitness outdoor, so I'm gonna try to get more bike riding in, like actual bike riding, not
Okay.
stationary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, Once this cold freeze goes away, hopefully like middle February. So I'm
Nice.
gonna try to get outside more, but trying to do more fitness for sure. Leading up to race season,
Mm-hmm.
and all the way through. So
No doubt.
because we all know, like towards the end of the year, you start to burn out a little bit.
Yeah,
And
definitely. You burn out, you don't have enough time to work out, all that stuff. So you've lost some muscle mass, you've lost some energy, and you have to adjust to that. You know what I mean? As the season progresses. So you really, whatever your off season is, that's your time to bulk up and to be as strong, as agile, or whatever as you can be. Because once the season happens, it starts up. It's not, if you're driving back and forth, you're not going to be coming home working out. You're gonna need a day or two to recover and all that stuff. A couple of days. The older you get, you might need a few more days than that. So, you,
yep.
you know what I
And
mean?
then,
So,
as you know, when the season starts, the like we were just talking about, the next round is a couple weeks after that. So If
Exactly.
you have a few days to recover, you just like work out. So
No doubt.
good to start
Yeah,
early.
no doubt.
I
So
mean, we all
yeah,
chill.
man. I think that's about it, TJ, man. You know, shout out your sponsors. I will say one thing before you shout out your sponsors. We do have some news to be forever cool and Motor America. We're going to be talking about that in a few weeks, so keep it locked for that. Also, the trivia's continue to answer those trivia questions. Shout out to the winners. You know, it is pretty cool, and the merch is pretty cool. So, as you can see, that's definitely cool. So, you know, definitely, you know, keep it locked.
For sure. I mean, I just like to shout out to boy Nick Chaffee, where he's gonna put on some track days at New York Safety Track. I can post the dates and have more information about that on another video. But I'm trying to get that message out there. If anyone wants to do some track days, about 4 track days coming up. I think it's April. You know, every month, pretty much, all the way up until August. So.
So how can people find out about that? They reach out to you on your
Um,
social. How can the people
yeah, you can
find out?
reach out to me on Two Wheels and Coffee or TJ Bike Life on Instagram, or if you have my Facebook. And again, I will make sure I have information about that for future videos to come.
No doubt.
And I'll tag Nick also in that video. Just trying to get everyone out there to have some fun at a track day that we're trying to support. And always like the support from Woodcraft Technologies, J&G Performance, Hideaway Rentals, and Vortex.
All right, there you have it. Shout out to Hamden Yard. Be Forever Cool. Go to hamdenyard.com or hyboston.com. Get your Be Forever Cool gear, your Be Forever Cool merch. I think that's my only sponsor this year so far, TJ. I have to get my applications in. So,
Hey, whatever, everything counts. And, you know, I figure that all my friends and family are sponsors too. So
there you
I
go.
get a lot of support from everybody. So Um, if I don't get any other sponsors, I'm not counting on anyone, but I know the support's there. So
There you have it, man. My name is Rex45.
my name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
Peace.